All right, you guys. My 69 El Camino, I was going to Jonathan's cruise-in October, and my front universal went out. And the car's geared really low because it was originally a 6-cylinder straight drive car. And by the time I got it pulled off, it had vibrated so bad it broke the transmission case. So it's at my cousin's house. He's got a lift. So we're going over there to pull the transmission, and we'll swap this case out if the case is any good. I mean, if the guts are any good. If it didn't tear the guts up, we're just going to swap the case on it. So we're headed over there here in a minute. I got to get some stuff together. All right, we got this thing over here, got it on the lift. I hadn't really looked up under it to see what the damage is. I know the front universal's out, and I can see the torque converter from the top of the car, which you're not supposed to be able to do. So. Yeah, the case is busted on me. You can see it's leaning. Oh man, boy, this thing, it broke it right here. Let me get a light on the subject here. You can see a little better.
Dude, it broke. It snapped the case in 2 places.
It's broke over here pretty good too.
You still recording?
Yeah, I'm still recording. Yeah, it's broke all. Look. Oh man, what a mess. Hope it didn't break the flywheel. Man, I lost the modulator. It's totally gone out of here, and I don't have one. I went to buy one. And the universal come. It's out. You can see the hole. Hope it didn't mess the drive shaft up. We're gonna see. It was vibrating really hard. So we'll find out. Y'all ever seen such carnage? Bellhausen broke all kind of pieces off. Fixing to try to pull this down and see what we got. All right, so we're fixing the problem with the El Camino that actually caused all the carnage. The universal joint come out this side of the shaft, and these newer model GM universals, they inject plastic through these holes right here, and then it fills this ring up in there, and that's what retains that universal in there. Now this yoke come out of a newer model car, and the drive shaft actually come out of the El Camino. And see, the old style, they had outside clips, so your drive shaft's got a groove in it, and that's what holds it in on this side. And then on that side, that injected molded plastic holds them in. Well, when you get a replacement joint for that, it's got a groove in the cap, and so you put the joint in, and once the joint goes in, you got a clip that goes in that, and that's what retains the cap for where it had the plastic in it from before. So, and then you'll notice this is a two-way joint, or what they call a cross joint. So it's wide for the yoke side and narrow for the drive shaft side, because the yoke come out of a different year transmission, or different model car anyway. So that's what we got. So we're cleaning it up. I'm trying to get all the stuff out of it so that this joint goes in there easily. And then once we get that done, then we'll put this thing back together. All right, so we got this pressed in on this side, so we're gonna go ahead and tap this retainer in, and then we'll finish pushing it in and get it all centered up. Come back here. All right, so we got it pressed all the way in and got our inside retaining clips on there. So now we'll move over and put this side in the drive shaft and put our external clips in, and this will be done. All right, so on this side, you press it in until it gets to where you can put that retaining clip in like this one is, and then it's good to go. And you always, as you're going, you check for bonding. Make sure, hold that shaft so it don't move. You always check for bonding to make sure your motion is good, and it is. It's tight because it's a new joint, but that's what you want. So that's how you do that. And so the part that caused the failure is fixed now. Now we got to fix the failure. So there we go. So we got a new flex plate on here because when that transmission case busted, it bent the old one up. And so we got that on there. Nice new fresh flex plate. And then it totally wore the bushing out the back of the transmission tail housing, and looks like it wore the housing out too. But the transmission looks really clean and good because it was a good transmission. I really hated it happened, but we got a case over here. I'm gonna take this transmission apart and swap everything out of it into the other case. And we've got another tail shaft with a really good looking bushing in it. So we got that to go together. So that should straighten our mess out anyway. So part of this, well, the damage was made worse because this car was a 6-cylinder straight drive car. That's why the conversion joint was in the drive shaft, because the yoke, this transmission come out of an RV. You can tell by the deep pan that was on it. The motor and transmission that was in this car when I bought it come out of an RV. They had rebuilt the transmission and everything. They didn't do anything to the motor, and the motor turned loose on me. And I've got a new motor in here now, which don't have a whole bunch of miles on it. But the problem is that the rear gear is really low. So when that U-joint went out, before I could get the car stopped, you know, I was doing 65 or 70. Before I could get the car stopped, it just shook it to pieces. You can see my tubular upper and lower control arms and my sway bar on the rear. So anyhow, you know, you guys have been watching my channel for a while know that I'm gonna keep this car, so I want to make a SS clone out of it. So I kind of come upon something to fix the gear problem and to make it more like an SS. So I found this 12-bolt rear end, and it's actually a 273 posi traction rear, but my 67 Camaro back in the day, I got a 12-bolt rear end for it that came out of a 68 Camaro convertible that was a big block automatic car, and it had a 273 posi traction in it. Well, that car is going to end up with a 6-speed, and I got a brand new posi unit and 373 gears to go in it. So I have a set of 273 gears and a posi unit available. So we're going to put that in here, and it'll match up perfect with that big block Turbo 400. So we'll get this thing back together. Then I'm going to run to the house and swap out the gears and all in it, and then we'll put it back in the El Camino. Been working on the truck, my 71 Cheyenne, and I pulled off of that yesterday afternoon because it was raining, and my cousin's got this nice shop here with a lift in it, and so I brought my El Camino over here. He texted me yesterday afternoon. He says, if you're not doing nothing, come on over here and we'll pull the transmission out that Camaro. I mean, out that El Camino, and get her done. So that's what we got. We got this thing up in the air. Got the transmission out of it. Got an old nasty case here we're trying to get cleaned up. And then we're going to swap the guts out the old transmission into this one and put it back in there. And like I said, I don't know if I'll swap the rear end now, or I might just get back out, because I got all the stuff now to get my 71 Cheyenne chassis back to being a roller. So I don't know. I mean, I would have liked to have been working on it today, but it is kind of rainy out, so it's a better day to be in the shop. And it's a Saturday, so he's here to kind of help me, aggravate me, or whatever, pester me while I'm in here working. So we doing this today. And like I told you guys before, you know, I got this car. It was full of drum brakes. I put a disc brake conversion with drop spindles on it because it sit kind of high in the front. They had put brand new springs all the way around before I got it. So it sit kind of high, so I put drop spindles and disc brakes on it. Put these tubular control arms, upper and lower. Front sway bar. It's got a CPP 500 series fast ratio steering box on it, and then all new Moog steering linkage with the CPP tie rod ends. So this thing handles really good. Like I said, I get the daggone gear thing straightened out, and then it'll be a fun car to drive again. So that's what we're working on. We're gonna get it straight and have us a good driver. So y'all stand by and I'll show you more as we go. But pretty much as soon as we get this case cleaned up, we'll be swapping guts and get the guts swapped out, and then we'll put this thing back in and be getting close to being back on the road with this thing. So y'all stay tuned.